Welcome to AFSPA Talks, a production of the American Foreign Service Protective Association. Each month, we deliver informative health and wellness topics you want to know about, so make sure to subscribe to us on your preferred podcast platform. And if you have any questions about content discussed in this episode, ask them at AFSPA Live, our live Q&A session streaming every last Thursday of the month at 11 a.m. Eastern Time on youtube.com/AFSPA Cares. Now here's your host, Chief Executive Officer Kyle Longton.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of AFSPA Talks. I'm Kyle Longton, and with me is
Maddie Norton.
Maddie. Congratulations. I think this is our first recording, at least the first one that I am remembering to congratulate you for your recent promotion.
Thank you, Kyle. Thank you.
And we are delighted to have your continuing contributions to AFSPA.
Of course.
I'm particularly lucky that I get to work with you on this and AFSPA Live and other projects.
Absolutely. No, one of my favorite things I get to do in my job. So I love the podcast and doing AFSPA Live.
Excellent. Well, and we're on a little bit of a hiatus over the summer, a lighter schedule, but we are coming back for the fall, getting ready for open season, which is somehow always on the horizon.
Yep.
And so we've got a packed schedule coming up for the fall, but right now it's September.
Yep.
In addition to being back to school.
Yep. Back to school time.
Check your email box, listeners. We've got some information about that, child visits and so forth. But it's also September is
Life Insurance Awareness Month.
Yay!
Yay!
I think we've got some events coming up around that, right, Maddie?
We do. We have quite a few events coming up for our big life insurance awareness webinar that we do every year with Prudential. That will be on September 16th at 3 different times, as per usual, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern Time, 1 to 2, and 6 to 7 p.m. So please register for that if you want to learn more about how life insurance can help protect your financial wellness. And if you didn't catch August's live webinar, AFSPA Live, and my spiel about how important life insurance is, definitely tune into this webinar or go back and watch that live. All of our lives are on our YouTube channel at AFSPA Cares, and all of the podcast episodes. Maybe you're listening there now. But we have that coming up on September 16th. And then we have 2 other webinars scheduled for September. We have on September 9th, Managing Employment Change, also again at 3 different times. And then on September 23rd, we have Transitioning Successfully into Retirement. So if you're looking to learn more about retirement and how that works, which maybe I should be looking into to know what's going on with retirement, definitely check that out. And then we will always have our AFSPA Live on the last Thursday of the month, and that is going to be on the 25th of September. So definitely tune in for that, and it will be life insurance themed.
Absolutely. And I just want to say, we recognize that as the federal fiscal year draws to a close, that means transitions for a lot of people. Yep. We've seen that throughout the year. And so we specifically scheduled the webinars this month about employment change and transitioning to retirement with that in mind. We know that there are changes coming for many of our members or recently have experienced changes, and we're trying to provide you with some support, some resources. We also have more information on our website about retirement planning, financial planning, partners that we have, and can provide you some additional support or resources as you're considering what may be next in life, or whether it's this month or a couple years down the road. Take advantage of those, or Maddie, in your case, if it's decades down the road, it's never too early to start planning. That's right. It's also just on the topic of Life Insurance Awareness Month. We do go a little over the top in celebrating it, and other groups do too, I think. But it is an important piece in your financial portfolio, if you will. But the one thing that I will recommend, if you do nothing else during this month, check your beneficiary forms on your life insurance policies, because for many of us, I was guilty of this myself when I first signed up for life insurance through my employer, through AFSPA over 12 years ago. Yes, my spouse, we were married already, primary beneficiary, right?
Right.
But then my secondary beneficiaries at that time were my siblings.
Right.
And something happened. Well, I have 3 kids now.
Right.
I have other considerations. I've got estate planning in progress and so forth, just in case something were to happen. And so please make sure that those are updated. Please make sure, particularly if you've gone through a change in marriage, if you've had kids, if your parent, maybe your parents were your original beneficiaries when you
Right.
started off. Maybe their situation have changed. Maybe they're not around anymore, or maybe you want it to go elsewhere. So please, at the very least, take a look at that, update that, whether it's your FEGLI insurance, your insurance with AFSPA. We have a number of different plans, including a new senior life plan
Yep.
that's worth taking a look at for some of our more tenured members. But please, just at the very least, make sure that's in place, because guess what? What your will says doesn't matter.
Yep.
It's whatever is in that official beneficiary form
Hmm.
as a contract with a life insurance underwriter. So keep that in mind. I also want to encourage everybody to take care of your life. Right? Life
Absolutely.
insurance, you're not going to be around to enjoy it.
Right.
But for right now, I want to encourage people to take care of their lives, and there's a number of different ways to do that. That's the point of the podcast, is to give people tools, introduce them to programs about that. And one of those is that if we face the inevitable, if we get a serious diagnosis, whether it's a recommendation for surgery, a neurological condition, or even cancer,
Right.
um, you know, what do we do? Obviously, we're going to turn to our doctor. We're going to try to put a treatment plan in place, but sometimes things are happening fast
Yeah.
and you want some additional reassurance. And so that is our topic today. So today, AFSPA talks second opinions, and in particular, second opinions with Second MD. So we've long had a partnership with the Cleveland Clinic to provide second opinions for our members outside the United States. But our members inside the United States need second opinions too.
They
And
do.
so
They do.
since early 2024, we have partnered with a group called Second MD to provide that service, and that's what we're going to talk about today. And Maddie, you've got a little bit more information on our guest, who's going to
Yes.
walk us through it. Can you tell us a little bit about her?
I absolutely can. Today we are joined by Kim Rebec. She is a registered nurse since 2008. Her background's in oncology, emergency medicine, neurology, medical surgical care, interventional radiology, infusion services, and care management. She is a OCN, which is an oncology nurse certified, and she currently serves as the nurse on the customer clinical success team with Second MD. She's been with Second MD for 5 years, and she started as a medical surgical case manager, then moved to oncology, and now she's in customer success, where she serves all member diagnoses. She truly loves it here, and she loves the work that this company provides. And we are going to learn so much more about Second MD today with her, and we are so excited.
Absolutely. And I'm just going to add very quickly that, in its first year of our FSBP's partnership with Second MD, we did have 47 members activate with Second MD. 83% of them who received a consultation, they resulted in an improved treatment plan, and 94% were satisfied with their experience. So I just want to put that out there. These are not overall everybody who works at Second MD. These are specific to your fellow members in the Foreign Service Benefit Plan. So recommendations from those folks. If you're facing a diagnosis, we're going to find out how to take those steps next. So without further ado, let's get to it.
Absolutely.
So Kim Rebec, welcome to AFSPA Talks. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I'm thrilled to be here.
Well, we are delighted to have this opportunity to talk a little bit about Second MD. And so we're going to start off really basic. Can you just give us a brief overview of what Second MD is for our listeners who don't know?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Second MD basically was founded to give members the opportunity to speak with world-class experts throughout the United States that they wouldn't really have had the opportunity to speak with without our service. And we are just built to give people peace of mind in their overall treatment and care and ensure that they're on the correct treatment path, really. It's a little tool in their toolbox. So it's a wonderful resource. We have over 1,000 elite experts on our panel, and they're there to assist our members.
That's incredible. And I know really helpful to our members as well. So we've been fortunate to partner with you guys since early 2024 in the United States. Our goal in offering second MD is to provide an opportunities for members to get a second opinion when they are facing a serious diagnosis. What kind of diagnosis can second MD be helpful for? Are we talking about a flu or ear infection, a recommendation for a joint replacement, or what other needs can second MD help with?
So basically, we can do all the above. We do things such as we do a lot of musculoskeletal. So a lot of people come to us with um, surgeries, if they really need surgery, those kind of things. We do a lot of oncology diagnosis. We can do pediatric care, behavioral health care, mental health care, dental visits, orthodontic visits, women's health, really any diagnosis. We also take diagnostic odyssey cases where there really isn't a diagnosis. We just have a lot of symptoms and we need to get to a diagnosis. We do a lot of those cases as well, too.
Interesting. I think I want to talk a little bit about the mechanics of using second MD because people know it's there. They know, thank you very much, what it can how you all can help, but what's the first step? So let's say a member goes to the doctor for concern, the doctor orders labs, maybe even some imaging, perhaps a biopsy or a referral to a specialist, and the results come in and let's say it's bad news, maybe it's cancer or something like that. Um, Ideally, the next step is putting in a care plan in place and maybe starting treatment, going to an oncologist, something like that. But where in the process can and should a member contact second MD?
So basically, if we were talking about maybe a cancer diagnosis, we'll use that for an example. They go to the doctor, they get a biopsy and a pathology report on that biopsy. They meet with their local team and they develop a treatment plan. At that time, that's a good time to come to second MD. We want to have an expert look over all their medical records, all their diagnostic imaging, review that local provider treatment plan pathology, and be an added resource to say either we agree with the treatment plan, here are some other treatment options. Um, and really just give that member peace of mind that they are on the correct treatment path. We also do set a goal. So when I talk to a member on the phone, I always set a goal. What is your goal of the consultation? Because some of them, it might be just simply, I'm comfortable in my treatment plan. I want to review side effects. I want to review medications. So that specialist is also, they know the member's goal before they even go into the consultation. Of course, they'll touch on everything, but we really want to tailor it to their needs of what they want. And so then our specialists will weigh in on that treatment guidance, provide alternative treatment guidance, really just have an open discussion with that member about next steps.
Gotcha. And, you know, I think just to clarify, it's not just a one-time meeting. Like this is something where like it might take a couple of different appointments to like really secure a diagnosis and have a treatment plan. And this is a specialist that our members might be staying with for a while, especially if it's like a cancer diagnosis. And it's not just like a one and done, like it's very personalized, right?
So on a lot of the consultations, if it's non-cancer related,
Mhm.
most of those are just a one-time
Okay.
consultation. So that one will be usually done. When it comes to oncology, usually there's multiple, only because, say, we're going to start chemotherapy. Well, we need
Right.
a medical oncologist to weigh in on that. And then afterwards, they might go to surgery. So then we would open a surgical consultation. We usually do about one consultation for each member at a time, but of course we will follow them through the needs. As long as they have a treatment plan in place and they need to review that treatment plan, that's somewhere we could jump in and help.
Gotcha. So
And
I'm really sorry, I'm really
no,
interested
please.
to hear more about this. But you know, especially like people who come in and they don't know what's wrong, but like you said, they have a bunch of symptoms, and you guys have this test that they're able to do. For someone like that, what's the step-by-step process look like?
So as long as they've been evaluated by a local provider, they've got all these symptoms, we don't really know what's going on with them.
Right.
We don't really have a diagnosis. They'll come to us after that's done, and then they'll meet the same path. So
Gotcha.
basically, they'll meet with a specialist to review everything. And maybe we can't exactly give them a specific diagnosis, but we can help guide them on the journey that they need to get that diagnosis, diagnostic imaging, labs, those kind of things to help them figure out where we need to go next.
Gotcha.
So I'm going to ask a very, very basic question. And we'll go from there. How do members get in contact with Second MD? How can our members make that first contact to start this process?
Absolutely. So we do have an app for Second MD. So they can go on the app and request a consultation directly through the app. They can call our number directly. Either way, they're going to get connected with an intake coordinator who is going to connect with that member, make sure that they have the platform for Second MD, and then they're going to set them an appointment with a nurse that is skills-based to what they need. So we carry nurses in, musculoskeletal, oncology nurses, neurology nurses. So we match that member with the appropriate nurse, and that nurse will then take over, complete a full intake history with that member, and get their medical history, get where we would need to get medical records from, collect a list of that, and they will email the member a release of information to sign electronically. After that's complete, then our records team will jump in and they will collect necessary medical records for the consultation for the specialist. And then once that piece is complete, then we will pair that member with the most appropriate specialist, send them a full biography for their review. They will approve and see them before. And then we'll schedule a video call so they don't ever even have to leave their home.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I love that because I think a barrier for a lot of people is that whole record piece because maybe their doctor's in one provider network and within one online ecosystem, but the imaging or the lab or wherever it's all stored in different places and getting all of that can be a real challenge and just seem insurmountable when you're facing a diagnosis or dealing with symptoms. And it's so good to have that partnership and have that support to get that information gathered together. So you also mentioned a video visit, and I understand that's how most of the consultations take place. Um, is it all happening? You talked about sort of one visit. Is it just with the patient? Can they have loved ones, caregivers participate as well? Somebody to take notes? How does that work?
Yeah, absolutely. So we do video visits either through the Second MD app or they can log onto the web. So if they do the web option, we do offer screen or where they can link a third party in. So we can send a third party link to say if somebody has a family member in, and we can link everybody together in on that call. After the video call, we usually run in about 30-minute sessions for our specialists. They do not set a timer, however, we want all their questions answered. They will do the video visit, and then our specialists will also provide a written summary recapping everything that they talked about so our members don't need to take extensive notes during the call.
Perfect.
Excellent.
That is super helpful because I know when I go into doctor's appointments, I just kind of black out.
Yes.
And I'll be like trying to take notes, and then I'm like, it's useless at that point. So
Absolutely. We write it all down in a summary. There's a letter to the treating provider in there as well, too. It is all in a form. Everything that we've talked about as the nurse will be in there as well in the beginning of the summary. So it's really a nice packet they can print, take to their local provider. And it's just for their records as well. We share it
nice.
if they want us to. If not, they keep it for themselves.
Okay.
Excellent.
And once that original consultation is over, I know we've touched a little bit on it. What can the member expect after being paired with a specialist, and what's that look like? Is there any coordination of care with like our care management that we have? If they need ongoing support, like the issue may be solved, but they might have questions still, or anything about like side effects or things like that.
Sure. So after the consult, our nurse will follow up with that member and make sure all their questions were addressed. That's the
Perfect.
first thing. Yes, absolutely. And then if there are ongoing needs, we will see if there's any resources that we can refer them out to, refer them back to you guys.
Right.
We just want to make sure that all the pieces of the puzzle are complete. We also offer, if they ever need us to forward their medical records, since we do have
Right.
them all in one place, that's always an
Mhm.
option as well too. So we try to make it easy for them in their next step and try to help guide them in any possible way we can.
Gotcha.
Excellent. Well, I have learned a lot today, even though we've had this program for a year and a half.
Mhm.
I'm learning about the pieces that go into it and make this a successful program according to the members who've used it. And I hope that more will take advantage of our partnership with Second MD through the rest of 2025 and beyond. And Kim, before we wrap up, is there anything else you'd like to add that our members should know about?
I just think it's a really wonderful source. It is no cost. It is a free benefit to you guys, and you get the chance to meet with world-class experts. We want to take out all the hard work for you too. So after you speak with a nurse, we kind of jump in and do everything until it's time for that consultation. So we really, really want to be and feel that they are getting the best care out there. So I think it's a wonderful resource. I'm so glad that y'all offer it, and we're excited to partner and help.
Excellent. Thank you very much for joining us today, and thanks to you and everybody else at Second MD for the support for the members of the Foreign Service Benefit Plan.
Thank you.
Thanks again to Kim Rebec for joining us today. For more information about Second MD, please visit 2nd.md, so second.md, for more information on their website, or download the Second MD app from the App Store or from Google Play. For more information about all the benefits and programs offered by the Foreign Service Benefit Plan and by AFSPA more broadly, please visit afspa.org. This has been AFSPA Talks, a production of the American Foreign Service Protective Association. All information offered in this podcast is meant to be educational. The views expressed by the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily represent AFSPA. Should there be any discrepancy between information offered in this podcast and official plan documents for the Foreign Service Benefit Plan or the other products offered by AFSPA, the policy provisions will prevail. Thanks for listening, and be sure to subscribe to AFSPA Talks to catch our next episode. Please rate and review us on your favorite podcast app and share feedback with us on Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn. Look for AFSPA Cares. We'll talk again soon.
Thanks for listening to this episode of AFSPA Talks. Be sure to subscribe to our channel so you'll never miss an episode. If you have any follow-up questions about the topics in this episode, join our AFSPA Live Q&A session on the last Thursday of every month. We will be streaming live at 11 a.m. Eastern Time on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/AFSPA Cares. Thanks for listening.